Welcome back to Echoes of Embracing Love. We're back again to talk about Dr. Charles Dean's episode of Embracing Love, the episode How to Be a Millionaire Lover. This is part two of How to Be a Millionaire Lover. And if you remember in the previous episode, we talked about how you have to address issues, how you have to be able to discuss things, and how you have to be willing to make decisions about a relationship as to whether to stay, whether to go, the difficult parts of being in a relationship, determining whether it is important to stay within the relationship, to let the relationship go. And we had just gotten to the part where we were discussing how triggers that push us to distance ourselves in a relationship. And why aren't I talking to you? Why aren't you talking to me? Why aren't we talking to each other? We have to be willing to be open about what the issues are. And we had really done a deep dive into what those were and how, in a woman's perspective, those can really affect the psyche of a woman, not really knowing what's going on and why it's going on, based on what Dr. Dean had talked about. So now we're going to get into this thing he said, which was you can't get married for love. Again, when he said that, I was like, oh, that's so wrong. No, sir. Yes, you do get married for love. But he was like, absolutely not. You do not get married for love. And I was like, you're wrong. You do get married for love. But then it took me a few minutes to realize what he really meant to say. What he really meant to say was, you don't just get married for love. And he's absolutely right. You just don't get married for love. Love cannot be the only reason that you get married. It cannot be. You have to really make sure that you have other things that support you being married. Love or being in love, because we have to understand you can love each other, which is the emotion of loving each other and wanting what's best for each other and, you know, just having that feeling of love. Then there's being in love with each other. When you're in love with each other, you want to take care of each other. You want to keep that person safe. You want to be with that person day in and day out. But that is being in love. In love. You're willing to fight for your relationship. You're willing to put in the work, and still you don't get married just for those reasons. Even if you're willing to put in the work, even if all those things are true, that's just the foundation. That's just the 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 legs and the top of the table. That's just the foundation of why you should get married. The love. That's the foundation. There's so many other reasons that need to be there before you get married, which is the plan he's talking about. when you want to be a millionaire lover. Because in that plan, you have to have other things. You have to have common goals. You have to have a common end game. You have to have things that you aspire to together. You have to be invested in each other. You have to be willing to be there for each other. Willing is the key word. Want to be is another key word. You can't think. You can't hope I am. You have to know. You have to know that this person in front of me, man, woman, or indifferent, that this person is someone I want to be with for the rest of my life. I like them. I don't just like them sometimes. I like them enough to want them in my life every day. I love them enough to fight for them. If this relationship does not work, it will not be for lack of trying, because we are in it to win it. We are not going to let this relationship go without doing all the things that we can do to keep it. Our goal is to have generational wealth for our family. We want our children to carry a legacy. We want our family to be great. We have plans for each other as a couple. We have things that we plan to do as a couple. There has to be a mission, a goal, just like you were planning a business to be a millionaire. You've got to know what it is you two are going to do once you get into this relationship. The plan, how you're going to build, what you're going to build, how you're going to maintain it, how you're going to keep up your investment, how you're going to continue to invest, how you are going to be great together, how you're going to maintain your family where you're great together, what your boundaries are going to be, how you're going to maintain them, how you're going to protect your happiness, and to know that no one comes before you and your person. Nothing, no one can come before you and this person that you have decided is going to be your person. And you have to be in it together. It has to be common goal. Because if you step into that with one doubt of the support that you're going to receive from the other person, with one doubt that you're going to be supported emotionally, mentally, physically, Because you both need to know you're going to be protected, that you're going to be safe, that you're going to be loved, and that you're both going to invest in the mission, in the goal, in the vision that you've decided that is going to be your future. It's important. And not only that, you're committed to keeping your love tank full. Dr. Dean said if you cannot keep that love tank full, that is going to be the thing that makes one or both of you feel like you're not as invested as you said you were. And that investment will make things fall apart when you stop connecting and you're no longer intentional. Because when you go into this relationship, you're going in to be intentional and you're going in to make sure that you are doing what you said you are going to do. So we have to always be cognizant of those things. We have to always be cognizant. And um, you have to oh, excuse me. You have to always make sure that you're ready, that you're ready. In order to be a millionaire lover, you have to maintain that love tank. And how you maintain that love tank is to do what you did to get your person in the first place. You love them like you just met them, and you want to keep them, and you want to maintain them. I I had the most amazing experience. I had the most amazing experience with someone at the lowest point of my life. When I say it was the lowest point of my life, it was, guys. I had had a car accident that, like, took me out. When I say took me out of every part of my life that was important to me. It took me out of my career. I didn't have a job. I didn't have a job. I have a career. I have a profession. It was my passion. And it took me out of my passion for 10 months. And still, when I went back to my passion, I couldn't go back 100%. And it still gets to me because people don't know what it is when your life literally goes away and you don't think you're going to get it back. The people who you thought were for you, you realize were not for you. Not that they don't care about you, not that they don't love you, but they weren't there for you to support you when you needed them to be. I had one friend that was there for me, showed up when she was not able to show up her, should not have been able to show up herself, but she showed up for me. Did I see her every day? No. I might have saw her twice, but I got calls. She visited me. But what she probably doesn't know is that the depression that I went through was something that was not a good thing. I questioned everything. I questioned the people in my life. I questioned the men in my life who had claimed to love me that were still involved with me in some kind of way, because I didn't end on bad terms with any of the men that were in my life except for my ex-husband. We didn't end on bad terms. But what I know is there was no one who was there for me or who came around for me consistently. There was no one who wanted to be there for me. And one day I decided, I want to get back out there. Even as broken as I was, broken inside, my body was broken. I just had my knee replacement. And I was just like, I need something in my life. I need some happiness. I decided I need to get back out here. I need to find somebody who wants to be with me for me. And I need him to choose me because the people I choose are not working. When I choose, it's not working. And it was only God. I'm going to tell y'all, it was only God. It was only God. So I happened to meet this man, and he was like, "Can we meet? Can we go and meet at this place and see if we got anything that's going to show if we have anything that connects us?" And I went, and I will say, yes. When I say to you, this, I'm gonna tell you this though. I had not left my house alone until that day. I had not walked unassisted with a cane until that day. I had not driven alone until that day. And this wonderful man came to my car, helped me out of this car, and was so protective of me as we went into this place to take a seat. My heart melted completely. I'd never felt so protected as I had that day. Never felt protected before like that. And as we went in, he was so focused on me, getting to know me, focused on me. And I was like, I just never had it. I never had it. I never had this thing of someone being so focused on me and wanting to get to know me, because usually it's like, we're talking to each other and I was just giving him everything. I was giving him everything. And when I reflect on it, I realized I wanted him to know. I wanted him to know that I got all this stuff going on. I'm broken just a little bit. And I was giving it to him. And he was like, yeah, uh-huh. And I was like, yeah, uh-huh. But when he left, he was like, we're going to talk tonight. We're going to talk tonight. And I was like, okay, all right, okay. So I went home and I was like, oh, I did too much talking. I gave him too much truth. We're not going to talk. We talked that night and many days and many nights after. That man swept me off my feet. That day, that protectiveness that he extended to me as I got there, as I left, that touched my heart. He gave me a little niggle within the week. He made me feel something I didn't think I would ever feel, which was genuine attraction. And he chose me. And I think that was something I had been struggling with like for a long time because I had and have, let me correct that, I have a problem being someone's option. I have a problem being someone's option. And if I can't be your priority, I will never be your option. I will never be your option. I will walk away before I'll be someone's option. This man made me so much a priority. He made me so much of a priority that when Dr. Dean speaks of filling the love tank, my love tank was full. And I tried to fill his love tank. I think our love tank was full. It remained full. We care a lot. Um, but as I look at this, he says, experience with the person I love prohibits me from sharing, being emotional, and wanting to be with him. I'm going to say that again. Experience with the person I love prohibits me from sharing, being emotional, and wanting to be with him. My experiences prevented me from being able to share with him, from being emotionally vulnerable with him. And I wanted to be with him so badly that I was scared that if I shared all these things with him that I had been through, and then things I didn't even think to share with him, that it would like run him off. So, what I'm going to tell you is when someone gives you a safe space and says, I want to know everything, I want to know your fears, what makes you happy, what makes you sad, and I'm going to be here. I'm not going anywhere. That kind of release and acceptance, and I'll just say it, love, is something that you never, ever, ever think that you're going to experience at this big old age of 55 years old. I've not had someone to give me such a safe space. I've been married. I've been in relationships. Well, I ain't gonna call them relationships, not all of them. You understand what I mean? But at this age, to be given such a safe space, and then, but as a woman, as someone who knows relationships aren't easy, and to know that relationships go through ups and downs, and to know that relationships, you have arguments, but my experiences, not even just the male female experiences, the parental relationship, the sibling relationships, all relationships in my life, just knowing that relationships in general are tough and that you get disappointed. But to have someone to say to me, I'm your safe place. I'm safe for you. To give me that. I'd had my first love tank. And the love tank was maintained. And it was kept full. I didn't know what to do, y'all. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. I didn't. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know. I didn't know what a love tank was until now. I didn't know that I had the capacity to share so much, to be emotionally vulnerable. And it's so uncomfortable. And it makes me so afraid because sometimes people use your life against you. And I'm still uncomfortable. It still makes me uncomfortable. But I'm going to tell you, you have to be willing to put yourself out there to find your one. And I think I've said, like, before in previous shows, I am selfish about my love. I'm selfish. And I'm selfish because once you experience someone who gives you the ultimate gift, the ultimate gift of protection and safety and unconditional love, and because you don't know what it's like and you fumble the ball, you drop it, you pick it up, you drop it, you pick it up, and they allow you to. Now, that's not saying that he's perfect. I'm not perfect. He's not perfect. We're not perfect together all the time. But the willingness to keep trying is there. The willingness to know that mm, if we found each other was not a coincidence. It was a right time, right place type of situation. And sometimes saying I want you will get you what you want, and a toe melting hug can get you what you want. But the things needed to build that relationship, it's not those things. It's the maintenance. It's the building of that love tank and keep filling it up and just keep filling it up because I I have to be honest and say that I have at times I think put him in the position of not knowing whether I know if he loves me. I know. I know he loves me because he puts up with my crazies. He puts up with my crazies. When I say I have crazies, and I have crazies from my past, but I want to say I don't feel like I have triggers. I don't have really have things that trigger me. I just want to say I have things that I observe, and I feel like any woman with common sense, once you've dealt with certain things, they feel a certain way to you when they happen. And I know he loves me because he shows me in so many ways. He shows me in so many ways. But that's what I mean when I say relationships are hard because we make mistakes as we learn each other. We make mistakes as we do this thing called a relationship and being in love with someone and not knowing when we do things that make someone feel upset or triggered or whatever. But when we have learned behaviors, because I definitely have learned behaviors, I have those learned behaviors that I have been talking about. I do. I have the learned behavior of shutting down. I shut down. I don't want to talk. Um, because there was a day when this girl right here, but I had to learn to do it too. As a teenager, as a young person, I was quiet. I was very quiet. But then as I was coming to into my own and I was married, I could either let him run all over me or I had to learn how to defend myself. And I did verbally. I learned how to defend myself with my words. So as I got into my career, I was very like, oh yeah, I got to learn how to, I got to learn how to talk. I got to learn how to defend myself, and I got to learn how to be assertive, and I've got to learn how to be strong. I've got to be able to be a leader, and and I learned all those things professionally, guys. I am a leader. I'm very confident in my role. I am a mentor. I am a support to anyone who comes to me. I am the first one to stand up and say, hey, I'll help. As a mom, I am like, hey, you my baby, but come on now, this is not what we're doing. It's not what we're doing. We're not doing that. For my students, I am their teacher, but I'm still that mom. We're not doing that. Still that person. But as all women know, as a woman, as a woman, it's a different. All the relationships we have in our life, that relationship that identifies us as a woman is different. We play many roles, but this woman identity is hard. It's hard. I can be as confident as I am as a woman, walk out here with my head held high as that career woman, and as a mom, and as that person who can advocate for everybody else. But for myself, there are times I can't. I can do it for everybody else, but sometimes for myself, I cannot. But the biggest advocate for you is sometimes you, and you know it. But in this man and woman relationship, we find it difficult. We are like, I don't need anything from anyone. I can do anything I want to do. We don't do anything. We don't go anywhere. Um, I'm just who I am. But in a relationship, it's not me, me, me. It's not him, him, him. It's us, us, us. We have to feel the love. Holding hands, giving each other that time. Ah, yeah, all of that. But guess what? The me, I have insecurities. And when you have insecurities, you can't depend on the other person to build them up all the time. You have to be happy with yourself. And even though I'm happy with myself as a career woman, I'm happy with myself as a mother, I'm proud of myself as a mom. Proud of myself as a mom. Are my kids perfect? No. I love them, but no, y'all not perfect. But as a woman, sometimes I'm not as proud of myself as I am in other places of my life because of my experience, because of them. And so I'm in this brand new relationship that has me feeling so wonderful and makes me so happy and so proud. But then sometimes the me inside of me is like, I don't deserve this man because I can't be who I want to be with him all the time. And who I want to be is this strong woman that can support him and build him up and know that the insecurity that I have in me, because I got it, is not gonna make him feel like he has to always be in front of me. And he doesn't. Because remember, I told you I was okay being by myself? Because I'm okay in a lot of ways. I never want to make anybody feel like I don't need them. But the insecurity inside of me that I'm having to fight for this man is the one that I can't depend on anymore. That is the one. I fight it all the time that there's nobody I can depend on. He's shown me I can depend on him. He's shown me in 110 different ways. But in my life, in my experiences, I can't depend on anyone but him. My pride gets chipped away from every time I have to ask someone for anything. Anything. It chips away. That's a me problem. It's not a him problem. And it took me a minute to understand that it is a me problem. It's my pride. I I I have to learn to be able to depend on and lean on my man. It's hard because I never want anybody to come to me and say, I did this for you, 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 and I did this for you. And I know there are a lot of women on here right now who understand exactly what I'm saying. I don't want anybody ever come in my face and tell me they did anything for me. Because in the real world, in the non perfect world, in the midst of an argument, a lot of people are going to say, y'all did these things for you, and this is how you treat me. I don't do those things because I don't want them to happen to me. But because I'm cognizant of it and somebody else hasn't had my experience, they wouldn't be. But that insecurity in me is still very strong. And I think because I have that, I sometimes don't give that meaning of unconditional love that is being presented to me the chance to show me that I'm accepted for all of it, even my insecurities. So when Dr. Dean says the relationships need tune-ups, they need more maintenance, that love languages are important, that happy homes are great, but if you don't know how to connect with each other and invest and grow as a couple, that millionaire lover that we want to be to each other is not going to make it. So we have to make sure we maintain that love tank. We have to make sure we're still holding hands. We have to make sure we're still giving each other those kisses. We still have to make sure we're sitting in that chair together having those whispered talks. We still have to make sure we're doing those things we did to get each other in the first place. We still have to do those things that made us fall in love with each other in the first place. Even when we don't like each other. Even when times get tough, because they're going to get tough. They're going to get tough. I think the first year of getting to know someone maybe be the hardest year. If you can make it through the first year without losing your cool points, you might have a chance. But you have to be willing to share your insecurities with each other. You have to be willing to share that, hey, this is what it is about me that may cause us to stumble. And I know it. The truthfulness that we can share with each other can help us in our relationship. The things, the behaviors that we created to cope in other relationships may not work in our new one. But we have to have the willingness to share it so that we can now learn to cope in this new relationship. Because what we needed in the other relationship, we don't need it anymore. I don't have to protect myself as much because I have a protector and I didn't have one before. So learning from your new relationship to alleviate the burdens of an old relationship, as well as keeping that love tank full, as Dr. Dean said, can help us fill that love tank and keep it full and help us through the hard times of this thing called relationship building and maintaining that relationship. So as I listen to Dr. Dean and his thoughts on relationships, absolutely, they're hard. Absolutely, at times we need help. But we have to be willing to go get it. We have to be willing to apply it. And even sometimes when we know what to do, even when we know what to do to fix our relationship, it's not the easiest thing to do. Because sometimes we just don't want to admit that we can't fix something on our own. I know that I need support and I seek it. And sometimes I don't do things right. But I'm happy to know that if I fall off my bike, I can get back up on my bike and try again without the thought of someone walking away from me and they're going to stand stoic and help me be better every day. So let's all work on being millionaire lovers, as Dr. Dean has said. And once again, you can go to loveradionetwork.com to seek a consultation, just simply go to the feedback and request a consultation with Dr. Dean, or you can give him feedback on my show, his show. And I do encourage you to go to his shows, which are aired on um, Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. on loveradionetwork.com, and just take a listen. And then come to me to hear what's going on next in the woman's mind, because sometimes it's very different from what Dr. Dean's thinking, and sometimes it's just what he's thinking, and I'm just telling you how I feel. Okay? I am Dr. Daphne Buchanan, and you've been listening to Echoes of Embracing Love. I'll see you soon.